Matt's going to teach us how to do it. Let's give him a nice hand. North Florida Division Manager, Matt King.
Beamer, Benz, and Bentley. Beamer, Benz, and Bentley. Beamer, Benz, and Bentley. My jeans are never empty. Beamer, Benz, and Bentley. Beamer, Benz, and Bentley. Beamer, Benz, and Bentley. The schemes don't affect me.
Whether Beamer, Benz, or Bentley, I be moving, making movies.
Beamers, and Beamers. Pretty exciting, guys. I was thinking about what it would look like if we were at an SLC where we could all drive there together. You know, I mean, imagine driving by the hotel and you just see this entire parking lot filled with black on black. It's going to be pretty exciting. What a great event this has been. What a big commitment our executives have made to support the field. You know, at this point in the event, I can imagine where some of the thoughts are in the room right now. You know, some of you are excited. You can't wait to get back and apply what you've learned. SLC has allowed you to lift your head up for some air, to get clarity, to have vision, and you have it for your future. You envision yourself driving the black on black Beamer in 2015, and you know this is where you want to be for the future, and you're ready for that breakthrough. At the same time, I know there's probably others in the room that have genuine doubts. Maybe some uncertainty still. I mean, just because the company has just made the most profound commitment to the field in 33 years in business, your reality hasn't changed beyond the extra $3,000 you'll get this year. You still have challenges to face on a daily basis, reps to manage, recruits to create, bills to pay, a business that still needs to be built, and you're not certain about your abilities. I can relate to that. Most of you in the room, though, are probably somewhere in the middle. Excited, committed. You still have questions about your business, but you know this is where you're supposed to be for the near future. And I can tell you that I can totally relate to all three of those categories. And, you know, the purpose of my message is to hopefully give you clarity and some fire to each of the three groups in the room so that you can experience the breakthrough that will lead to the most profound breakthrough that Vector Marketing has ever seen. The purpose of my message is to share some of those thoughts. Over the last 16 years in the business, I've felt a little bit of it all. You know, I've had some of the most unbelievable life-changing experiences and perspective shifts that one can imagine. Humbling moments where I created a big pile of, well, you know, moments of greatness that I will never forget. And I can tell you a few things about my journey that I've grown constantly along the way. I've been supported constantly along the path, and I've deserved everything that's come my way. And I can tell you that I love this business, and it burdens me when I see people that I know love this place as well that are so close to figuring it out. They're on the verge. They're on that tipping point. They're one habit away from the breakthrough, and they don't realize it. You know, one of the things that I know for sure is that along the way, in the best of times, and even in the lowest of lows, I always wanted and desired to experience a breakthrough to the next level. Today, my wish for all of you is to share some perspective with you that can help initiate that next breakthrough in your reality. The reality of your life and your business that we live in, and the life outside. As I reflect back over the years, in most of the cases, my next breakthrough was always right around the corner. And it's not that we all just have that one breakthrough. There's many breakthroughs that take place. We've all experienced that from time to time over the years. You know, we hear that word a lot. On the first day, I counted 3 or 4 times that somebody mentioned breakthrough in a message. But what does it actually mean to have a breakthrough? Well, you know, I looked up the meaning of breakthrough. There's 2 definitions. The first one is a sudden, dramatic, important discovery or development, often used in the science field or breakthroughs in technology. I think it's true with us as well. Like the breakthrough that Dan mentioned earlier where we decided to start collecting PR names on day 3 of training. That was a massive breakthrough. To do appointments online virtually. 10 years ago, that wouldn't even have been thought of. Still in the dial-up days. To operate the business to maximize profits, or you know, a major breakthrough in the understanding of the missing link that allowed everything else to fall into place. And that is my wish for all of you today, to find what that one thing, many of you have read that book, that one thing that can make everything else different. That's the breakthrough that we want to accomplish. Second definition, an instance of achieving success in a particular sphere or activity. Their breakthrough came when they were promoted to district manager, when their team won the push, when they developed that mega district with 6, 8, 10 branches, when they saved that first 50, 100, 250,000. See, the first breakthrough speaks to the findings or actions taken that will lead to a greater future. A paradigm shift that can take place in an instance through a change of perspective and habits. To see things in a different light that lead to results that prior were not available. You know, I think we all can think back to conversations that we've had that have opened our eyes or given us, as Jeff Gamboa would say, those light bulb moments where things were different after that conversation or after that understanding. You know, examples for me, I remember being a branch candidate and John Kane saying, never underestimate the heart of a champion. Just that one phrase stuck with me for several years. It gave me power to overcome challenges. And I'll never forget that night. I remember a veteran district manager when I was a new district telling me, Matt, hey man, you're capable. You can do this. You can compete with the big boys. Don't limit yourself. Because I was confined to the box that I was living in prior. I remember Larry Manley saying, hey Matt, you can go to school and run an office. Hey man, I know you can find a way to get it done. Prior to that, I thought I had to shut down my office, finish up my degree, and go back out. I remember Michael Chan watching my interview the first time and helped me go from a 40% show to a 50 or 60 through an hour of field training me while I ran an interview and the conversation that followed. Rick Castro at SLC my first time talking about Circus of Olay, where, you know, if those people made a mistake and dropped somebody on their head, they would die. And they have to execute with perfection every day they go to work. And it made me think about how I could bring that level of execution to my business. That was a breakthrough conversation. The PR program that developed almost 9 years ago and quickly became 30 to 50% of our company's recruits annually. See, the second breakthrough is the breakthrough of achieved success. You know, we all can relate to this in some way. That first Dirty 30 pay raise, hitting FSM, getting promoted to assistant, branch, right? Hitting P-Bank with that first time, hitting standards, becoming debt-free. That first 10, 50, 100 grand saved. See, the breakthrough when Vector committed to growth in a way they never have before. That was a breakthrough. The announcements of $12 extra $1,000 in every single district manager's pocket, that is a victory. That is an achievement. And that's a moment I think we'll never forget as it took place at SLC 28. See, to have the second breakthrough, somewhere along the way, we must experience the first. An understanding of perspective breakthrough, if followed upon, leads to an achievement breakthrough. See, the two biggest things that must happen for a true life-changing breakthrough is a change in habits and psychology. See, habits and mindset are everything when it comes to experiencing success and creating something that isn't there presently. See, we talk about habits a lot, but see, when you see the habits, you see the person. We've all heard human beings are creatures of. It is so true. When you truly dial it down and you look at our daily actions and our daily thoughts, our habits and our mindset, it truly leads to who we are and what we experience. You see, for real, lasting breakthrough, habits must come first. But man, habits are hard to change. Change is hard. But the reality is we have to get leverage. And any of you that have been to a Tony Robbins event, you understand that concept of leverage. You have to have something that is so strong that it pulls you to changing that habit. Most of the time, by the way, that change in habit stems from the realization of the pain that can and will be experienced if the habits aren't changed. Long term, not tomorrow, but a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, what takes place? See, we have to use that leverage to force us to make the change in habits now so we can be where we want to be later. I want you to think about what are habits that could be limiting you right now. I want you to think about habits that, if strengthened, could unlock the door to the success you aspire for. See, sometimes that breakthrough is just one small habit away from becoming a reality. One small habit, one change in our daily actions can change everything. We've heard the concept of 211 versus 212. 211 is hot water, 212 is boiling. We have a lot of people in this room that are at 211, and we've got to crank up the temperature, and it starts with a change in habit. What's awesome, by the way, is that we have people all over this room that change their habits and change their reality. People like Mike Schmidt. Best year as a district, 290,000. Best year. Decided to change his habits. He started following a schedule, running his interviews, not cutting corners, working out, waking up early, someone watching everything he did, interviewing, sharing the business, showing appreciation to everyone all the time, staying hungry, having a clear vision in how today fits in with his future. He changed his habits and he changed his life. He's going to double his best year ever. People like Brian Hurlman, who went from slightly above average a year ago to a master in 1 year, to a champion, one of the best new business summers the Eastern region's ever had. He changed his habits. He stopped smoking. He started working out. He took control of his interviews. He committed to a new training seminar, even though he already had good productivity. He changed his habits, and the breakthrough followed. People like Dane Espegard was stuck in what I call 6 to 800K land for a while. And then he got stuck in $800 to $1 million land for a while. And then he changed his habits. He decided to wake up early, work out, read 5 days a week, started his days with purpose, and his breakthrough followed, $2 million a year. Even people at the top experience breakthroughs when they change habits. People like Jim Stitt Jr. Imagine being promoted from director of manufacturing to president of everything. Right? Now you've got lobbying that takes place in different departments. Friction that's created because everybody has their own vested interests. He walked in and said, hey, let's bring this team together. Let's create a common goal. Let's run meetings every day, Monday through Friday, empower our people. Let's get on the same page. Let's lock arms and build something great. And a breakthrough took place even in our factory when the habits changed. He decided to change the habits of communication, the habits of discipline, and the habits of the goal that the team focused on together, and everything changed there as well. Habits make a difference. The second thing is psychology and thoughts and belief. Right? Psychology and our thoughts, those become our beliefs and our words, and that becomes our reality. Al D mentioned it in his talk when he said, we become what we think. Our thoughts do become our reality. It's funny how we find a way to not think we're capable, or to justify, or to rationalize what our true potential could be. That little voice that puts fear and doubt and skepticism into our minds. Dan Cassetta mentioned the voice when he said, can this be done versus how can this be done? One change in a word can add so much power and so much of a difference in your mindset and the way that you find answers. So we have to be weary of the weeds in the gardens of our minds. We have to adopt new thoughts that take us to the reality we desire. Danny Lewis did this 2 years ago. His first 2 years, he was literally the worst district manager in vector marketing. Imagine being at SLC and there's all these people here and you're in last. Man, that had to be tough. But see, what happened was, by the way, never over 200K. He became aware. He realized that he wasn't reaching out for advice. He realized that he didn't have confidence in his own ability to train reps. He realized that he was being too nice and letting his people fail because he wasn't holding them accountable. He was the shepherd leading the lambs to slaughter. He decided to find a mentor, the right mentor, learn from Jeff Bry, work to gain belief and confidence in his training, decided to believe in himself, became $1 million manager, now a division manager, went from worse to living the dream and experiencing the breakthrough with a change in mindset. People like Kathy Vasquez in the fall of 2004. You know, I remember that fall. I remember sitting on a bus going to Olean. Strong Kathy, headed for a 40K fall, crying, having doubts. Can I make it? I don't know if I'm good enough. I'm not sure if I can do this. She decided to go out and cross-train. She decided to influence her mind from people that were getting it done. She reached out for help. And a year and a half later, she was hitting her first $1 million year. Many Silver Cups followed. Assistant division manager, now a division coordinator. And, you know, it was as if Kathy could only think about what was going wrong during that first fall and that she wasn't in control. She switched that psychology, that focus, and the new reality appeared. And there should be a handout coming around. I want to do a real quick exercise with you, and I need your intuitive thought. This is your sheet. You're not going to share it with anybody, but I want you to be real. This is about being real. Even if you're the best leader in this room, I want you to ask yourself these questions and put down the immediate thoughts that come to mind. First off, with your vision. You know, I talked to a district last night, and they're like, I don't really know what I want. I said, I'm so sorry for you. Because if you don't know what you want, you're going to go nowhere. We got to know, what do we want? What's that vision like? Right? So what does a breakthrough in your business look and feel like? Write it down. Start writing. What does it look and feel like? What does the office look like? How many people are around you? How many AMs, FSMs, key staff? What's that CPO number? What are you being most fulfilled by? How are you more confident, more patient? Are you more committed, more disciplined? How are you financially? What does a breakthrough in your life look like? Number two, what does it feel like? What does that breakthrough in your life look like? Physically, financially, emotionally? Are you more giving? Are you in better shape? Are you saving more? Are you more disciplined? Then I want you to take it to the habits. What are one to two habits that have contributed to self-sabotage or held us back from realizing and tapping into our true potential? We all know we got to be real. We got to be aware. This is you. What are one or two habits that if you committed to with true discipline could change everything? By the way, if you're stumped, find a mentor, find a coach, go to your division manager, have a brainstorming activity. Not knowing the answers to this shows lack of awareness, and it's okay. We can grow through that. We can break through that. But they have to be identified before the breakthrough can take place. Next thing, I want you to think about your thoughts, your beliefs, your words, your reality. What are one or two limiting thoughts or beliefs? Some of you, man, you got great minds. You're super tough. But I guarantee you there's something in there. I guarantee you there's something. There's something small that's held you back. There's something small that, if broken through, could make all the difference. Ask yourself, what could it be? What are thoughts that have limited your success? Or the success of the people around you? And let's think about replacing those. What are one or two thoughts or beliefs that are necessary in order to achieve the level of success that we aspire for? I want you to think now about those two habits, those two limiting thoughts. Ask yourself whether here, in Vector or outside, if those habits aren't changed, if they stay with you forever, what happens? If those habits aren't changed, what kind of impact does it have on the business? If those thoughts aren't redirected, what kind of impact does it have on our relationships? If those habits remain, how is your future impacted? How does it impact you financially? What kind of impact does it have on your health if that limiting belief goes unchecked? See, guys, prior to a few years ago, I played baseball in college, and I didn't like working out because Coach forced us to run. He forced us to wake up at 5 a.m. and lift. I associated being told what to do, and in Vector, we like to tell ourselves what to do with working out. I started thinking, man, if I don't change this, I have so much in the business, great relationships, great family, great financially, but man, what's going to happen 10 years from now? How's my life going to be shortened if I don't commit to changing things? How long am I going to get to see my kids? Will I see my grandkids? How much extra money am I going to spend having to pay for health stuff down the road? And that breakthrough in my mind and my thoughts changed because I took the leverage and made the decision to change my habits and my thoughts. Now I've gone 2 years almost, working out 3 days a week with a trainer. I'm not the picture of health, but man, I am a heck of a lot better than I was 2 years ago. And it took that one breakthrough to take place in order for the reality to change. See, now think about the opposite taking place. What good comes from overcoming, from experiencing the breakthrough in those habits? How is life going to be different in 5 years, 10 years? How could your life be different? How could your business be different? The key is this leverage. Find that leverage that's going to force you to follow through. I will encourage all of you to take this sheet of paper. Don't just let it go in the Vector pile. Take a picture of the front and back on your phone. Set an alarm to look at it once a week, once a month. Remind yourself of the things that you've identified that can make a difference in your life. And I guarantee you by focusing on it, things will change. There are different ingredients as well that go into making that breakthrough. Awareness is one of them. Abraham Maslow said, what is necessary to change a person is to change his awareness of himself. See, awareness is the key that unlocks the door to the true breakthrough. So we all have to look ourselves in the mirror and be real on the regular basis. Sometimes it's a hard thing to do. But until we're truly aware, progress can't be made. I've always been told, lean on your strengths and minimize your weaknesses, tendencies, and bad habits. But we have to know what those are. Look at that paper. Look at those words and what's standing between you and the next chapter of your life. What is possible if those things are adjusted? Where can we be more aware? The next ingredient is commitment to the fundamentals. Evan Keller and Al D both mentioned fundamentals. This is the key ingredient that gives energy to the breakthrough and allows it to actually become reality. The fact is, we need to recruit people. We need to train people. We need to grow people. There are tons of fundamentals that go into making those things happen. But if we put the fundamentals to work, we're always only 3 weeks away from running an exciting business. Any time of the year, 3 weeks away, we can change our reality. We got to recruit though. We got to find a way to get people in front of us. We got to do what we have to do to field the calls, set the PRs, and pour our very best into making them succeed as others did for each of us in our past. The challenges won't stop, but our commitment to the fundamentals and to finding the solutions can change. Growth is critical. In our division, we focus on Can I? A sticker I put on my mirror when I bought a Tony Robbins audio back when I was 18, 19 years old. Constant and never-ending improvement. Focusing that on a daily basis. How can we be a little bit better in different aspects of our lives? And we get that momentum on our side after a few weeks, a few months, a few years. And it's so exciting how we can grow and develop ourselves inside and outside of this business. Committing to Can I is critical. Because see, once we are aware of our opportunities for growth, we can commit to growth and grow through them, and the breakthroughs will happen. Guys, we also got to believe. We got to believe. One of my favorite quotes from Think and Grow Rich, whatever the human mind can conceive and believe, a human being can achieve. Napoleon Hill. See, it starts with our beliefs about ourselves. What are we truly capable of achieving? And I ask you, why not you? And if not you, then who? See, Nelson Mandela said, your playing small does not serve the world. Who are you not to be great? When I envisioned a parking lot full of BMWs, that means that everybody in this room experienced a breakthrough leaving this event. That's what needs to happen for us to make that a reality. And for you to settle for mediocrity. We only live once. Who are you not to be amazing? Who are you not to tap in to that true potential that you can bring every day? You know, the last thing, everybody, is appreciation. This is the ingredient that allows the breakthrough to be profound. We've all heard what we appreciates. Sometimes it's looked at as a catchphrase, though. But man, it's not a catchphrase. Try it out next week. Wake up and journal about the 10 things you're appreciative of that day. Remind yourself regularly. It will give you strength to overcome. Appreciation is why I'm still here. Other company tried to recruit me. I love and appreciate this business too much to turn my back on it. I love this business. I love that I'm my own boss. I love working in a culture like this. I love working with a company that is always looking for ways to be better. I love being rewarded for achieving results. I love the challenges and the victories. I love traveling the world with people that I love to be around. I love that this is the place that I'll raise my family. I love knowing that I have a dozen people in this room I can go to on advice on how to be a better dad. I love that there's a list of 100 Vector First life experiences that I probably wouldn't have had taken place if I wasn't here. I love instilling confidence to someone that had never been told they were worthy before. I love influencing attitudes. I love shaping mindsets. I love watching breakthrough take place in people's lives because of the knives. I love the 30 or so letters I've received from reps that have left the business 5 or 10 years ago when they realized what being a part of what we have here was and what it's done for the reality they live today. I love that I drove to my first interview, new to the area, in 1998 in a 1985 El Camino wearing the one tie I own. I came from nothing, built it on my own in this amazing place we call Vector. I love that financially, I've been able to build a foundation that will allow me to one day retire the knife guy. I love that I've been raised from the age of 19 in the knife business. I love the face people give when I tell them I've been with the same company for 16 years and I'm 35. I love that I work with so many great friends, many different thoughts than I have that have influenced me to become more well-rounded and polished. I love that I don't have to complain like many of my friends do about being trapped in the corporate muck of a job and the horrible leaders that they have to support them. I love that I have a vehicle in the business that allows me to press harder or let up on the gas of my own choosing. I love that there are people in this room that I'd take a bullet for and they do the same for me. I love that I've been a groomsman in 5 weddings with my Vector family, as well as the fact that most of my groomsmen were my Vector boys. I love that others don't get it like we do. I love that I get to be passionate whenever I want to, even at SLC. I love that I have financial friend and coach in Adam Stock. I love that I've had some of the greatest mentors a human being can possibly desire in Amar DeVay, Scott Dennis, John Kane, and John Berghoff. I love that I've been able to work side by side with my sister and for 12 years as she's led our receptionist program, graduated college, found an amazing man, and now is married, and I was able to understand influence and how to develop someone from what I learned in this business, and it's reflected in my family on a daily basis. I love the fact that I met the most amazing woman in the world, my wife, Jamie, in this business. I appreciate my people, my leaders, and the knife life I live every day. I love that I've built my life on this ground, our very own Vector dirt. We all have shovels in hand, and we are breaking new ground as we leave this place as our real breakthrough is not far away. We got to remind ourselves exactly what this place truly is and what it truly means. You know, I think about Vector and where we are, and I think about the Chinese bamboo tree. 5 years, Vector's been stuck. We need a breakthrough. It's not a secret that we've been in the same range in sales. 230, 250, 200. You know, when I think about where we are, that Chinese bamboo tree sits so true. You take a little seed, you plant it, you water it, and fertilize it for a whole year. Nothing happens. The second year you water it, fertilize it, nothing happens. Third year you water it, fertilize it, nothing happens. How discouraging that becomes. But the 5th year, You continue to water and fertilize, and the seed takes note. Sometime during that 5th year, the Chinese bamboo tree grows 90 feet in 6 weeks. Sometimes the business is much akin to this growing process of the Chinese bamboo tree. Sometimes it's discouraging. We seemingly do things right and nothing happens. But for those of us who do things right and are not discouraged and are persistent, the breakthrough will happen. Finally, we begin to receive the rewards. And I'm now receiving the rewards of the seeds that were planted 5 years ago. You are as well. And remember, if you keep doing what you've always done, you'll get the results you've always gotten. I think our company is on board with that philosophy as well, and they have taken steps to create fertile ground and the right environment needed for a massive breakthrough to take place. It is up to us to stay vigilant, to focus on our habits, to focus on our mindsets and our psychology, and continue doing the work needed to experience the breakthrough. Vector Marketing, it's time for all of us to lock arms and create the future we desire in this amazing business together. It's time for your breakthrough. Thank you.